Oh my God. Blackmagic Design has finally released the Blackmagic RAW update for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. This completely changes the game because now you can shoot Blackmagic RAW 12:1 compression. You can shoot 4K 60p 12-bit on a $19 SD card. You'll fill up the card, you won't drop frames. What? Download. Yes, download. Yes, yes, yes.
Download initiated. Upgrades include a hardware-accelerated RAW codec with Generation 4 color science.
First off, I want to mention that I understand how hard it is to get one of these cameras. They're back ordered for weeks now, months even. And all I can say is that I ordered mine through B&H. I didn't pay tax on it and I got it in a few weeks. So maybe you guys have better luck there. I left an affiliate link down below. So if you guys want to support the channel, all proceeds will go directly to buy me a jetpack. Not kidding, that's jetpack. If you haven't updated your camera yet, the RAW that you're shooting is Cinema DNG, and for lack of better words, is like a series of photographs. In fact,
when it came to Cinema DNG, that format's a bit of a nightmare. It's made up of still frames, and it's really kind of a dumb bucket of pixels type format. It's really just a container of pixels. It doesn't really know anything about the camera. You know, to make it work, what we did is sort of hacks into DaVinci Resolve, because the color science is all built into DaVinci Resolve.
That is Grant Petty, CEO of Blackmagic Design, AKA the Thunder from Down Under. He probably doesn't like me calling him that, but this is where Blackmagic RAW pulls ahead from universal RAW codecs.
We wanted a single file for everything. We didn't want a folder full of frames. We also wanted better quality images, even when running much higher levels of compression.
So Blackmagic Design, in addition to being a cinematic hardware company for filmmakers and broadcasters, has spent equal amount of time developing the software side, color management, editing, and now visual effects through DaVinci Resolve. In the last few years, they've been working on this proprietary RAW flavor for their cameras. Frankly, what you have here is an explosion in efficiency from a company that has a foothold in both the engineering software side and the mechanical hardware side. What's awesome is that the RAW in the update has been custom tailored and designed for this sensor, so it knows exactly the limitations, it knows how far you can push it, and it's been optimized to work with this camera.
So this means Blackmagic RAW is not just a simple codec, but it's much more intelligent as it understands the sensor in the camera. Yeah, the images are still in a very raw form, so you get all the flexibility of the RAW adjustments and such as ISO and white balance and everything like that, but the amount of work that the software has to do is much, much less. And we've essentially moved the heaviest part of the processing to the camera where it can be hardware accelerated. The hardware accelerating the heavy part of the raw processing in the camera is why Blackmagic RAW is so fast.
So if you guys don't think this is a big deal, you are mistaken. This changes a lot of things. Now, they aren't the first company to roll out their own proprietary RAW. Ari's got Ari RAW, Red's got Red Code, Canon RAW Lite, Apple's got ProRes RAW. So they're not the first, but they are the first at this price point. You're gonna have a lot more people now wanting to learn how to integrate RAW workflow into their video shooting, and they're gonna be able to do it on like ridiculously small budgets and not have to worry about filling up terabytes of footage. Terabytes. Blackmagic did roll out their guidelines for what quality you should shoot. Heavy graded feature films and commercial work should be 3:1 compression. Doing indie films or you're doing like regular commercial stuff, 5:1 to 8:1. My needs probably fall between 12:1 and 5:1 compression or constant quality Q5, but be that as it may, that guideline was rolled out for the Ursa Mini Pro, so it'll probably be a few months before we get real feedback and what the actual needs are. Now, you may think 12:1 is not gonna be that great. I mean, it is the most compressed version of RAW that this camera will offer. So let's just go see what this 12:1 compression can do. My one memory card here.
You'll still need to bring about 6 batteries though.
Yeah, I know.
Load in SoundCloud playlist from We Are All Astronauts. We don't have any color grades for Blackmagic RAW. We'll have to build some from scratch. It's generally not advised to shoot high levels of compression when filming complex imagery, high frame rates, or in low light scenarios, and since you're doing all three, we will have to run some tests. "12:1 compression should yield the same latitude and flexibility of 3:1, though we should compare noise values between the two, as the 12:1 may introduce more artifacts. You won't be able to film much here. We'll have to go above ground. Here is 12:1, with a simple grade, and let's compare to 3:1. Here we can see slightly more contrast and artifacts on 12:1, but not much. It's really quite impressive, packing this much information and flexibility into such a small form. Here's another go, with a more aggressive grade. Which one of these two is 12:1 compression? Without pixel peeping, it's difficult to tell a difference. Switching to windowed sensor 120p, the 12-bit RAW behaves the same on this mode. A lower compression would be advised in this scenario.
Just started raining, so hold up in here, waiting it out. So what's crazy is that 12:1 compression, I wonder how big the file sizes are going to be compared to other cameras that are not shooting nearly as high.
Are you seriously not going to film the rain, you f***ing wanker?
All right. Wow. I'm just still in shock that all of that was filmed on this guy. There is so much going on with this camera now. I will be doing another episode to unpack more of the features, as well as doing a crash course on working with Blackmagic RAW. Learning a RAW workflow can be a little daunting, but once you get into it, it's actually very easy. There's like 3 things you need to learn. Currently, for you to edit with Blackmagic RAW, you have to update to the latest DaVinci Resolve 15. I left links in the description below. I guess they're making this open for other programs to work with, so you may be able to edit these in Premiere or Final Cut in the future. We'll see. The 120p, I think, could have used lower compression. Because it was shot in 1080, it's harder to hide artifacts with some of the heavy graded night shots. With 4K 60, it's easier to hide noise with higher levels of compression if your final product will be downscaled to a smaller resolution like 1080. But in this case, we shot at 1080 and upscaled to 4K, so it makes you wonder how much we could have benefited if we shot 8:1 or 5:1. Now, I will say that 12:1 compression was the only level that we could record more than a few seconds on. But if you want to record more than a few seconds at a less compressed option, you need to have a faster write speed card like SDHC2 or CFast2 or SSD. So if you guys are looking for a CFast2 card that will work with this camera, I just picked this up. This is a great recommendation, Armando. Thank you, brother. It actually works for all the codecs. I haven't had any drop frames for the shooting that I've done. I mean, it's off-brand media. If you're that risky kind of person that drinks water out of a garden hose, then this is for you. $79 for a 128 gigabyte card, and you can record all of the bit rates. Sold! Also, if you guys like any of those color grades that I used tonight, I am gonna be releasing some special Blackmagic RAW color grades, but I gotta tweak with them a little bit more. I don't just make LUTs to make them. The super rad thing is once you get those LUTs, you can import them into the camera, and then you can preview and know exactly what the final product's gonna look like while you shoot RAW. It's freaking, this camera is amazing. And yes, I still love Sony. I'm not getting rid of any of my cameras, but I'm happy to bring this one into the family. If you guys like that music, that's my homie Dave from We Are All Astronauts, a top-notch creator. Such a good dude. He just launched his YouTube page, so go show him some love. Tell him I sent you. Anyway, this is Josh Yo saying thank you very much. Stay creative. Now go make some art.